Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to the round 10 edition of 5 things we learned off the back of our 28-point loss to the West Coast Eagles yesterday afternoon at Optus Stadium. As always, thanks to our sponsor, Mornington Peninsula Brewery. Check out their website at www.mpbrew.com.au. Okay, so I probably could have gone 10 points. I'm going to try and just go with the usual 5, but if the few creep in there, so be it. Number 1, we just aren't strong enough. And I don't mean mentally, I mean physically. I feel like even first 1 to 2 year players in opposition teams that come up against our youngsters look way more physically ready for AFL football. Look at Toby. Look at Darcy. I mean, Darcy is probably the most mature in terms of his physicality in his position. Machito as well, but they do not play physical. They do not use that strength that they've got. We are so easily pushed off the ball. It's not funny. And it's not like we're coming up against giants every single week. It's just that the average AFL team looks taller and looks bigger and stronger. I don't know what that comes down to. I don't know if we prioritize being on the track more than being in the gym, but I feel like that's just something that's caught my eye in the last couple of weeks. Carlton looked physically bigger. Every team looks just stronger. Even if we're on top, they just look bigger and stronger, and we have to work that little bit more for the ball because of it. So that's my first point. Number 2. We can still play experience with youth. They're not isolated. We don't need to go all experience or all youth. You can mix the two. And I say that because I feel like yesterday was a good opportunity to bring in Toby, to bring in Hunter Clark and Zach Jones, and mix it up in the midfield and play that mix of experience and youth. Except people seem to think that bringing in Zach Jones is to sacrifice someone else that's the future. It doesn't have to be that way. Rest a senior bloke, bring in another senior bloke, mix it up, try something new. I feel like a game like yesterday, maybe we didn't need to go as young as we did. Not every week we need to be putting games into the future, because it goes without saying it's implied, we are going to be giving games to youth. It's just how it is. But that doesn't mean that we forget about some of the experienced blokes that are, based on their VFL form, probably good enough to play in this team right now. Irrespective of whether they're part of the future or not, we can't just let them play in the VFL and that's it. If they're warranting it, and we talk about selection integrity, bring them in, give them a game. Number 3, if there was maybe there is a stat, but if there was a stat for fumbles, we would be number 1. There'd be number 1 St Kilda and daylight. And the next best thing is clangers, right? Look at the clangers, the top clanger players from yesterday. They were all St Kilda players, and they were all some of our best players. McRae, Sinclair, Nasiah, all of them. I think one of them, I can't remember which one, had like 10. You know, we go off of Riley Bonner last year for having 18 in a game. I think someone had 11 yesterday. So we are just so fumbly, and it's so hard to watch when I'm shocked when we have 3 or 4 possessions and they're clean. Like, that to me is a surprise, because I'm like, okay, so who's going to break down in this chain? And inevitably it happens, and you're like, okay, there we go. But it's not even that. It's like basic handballs that they just fumble, like the ball is like dipped in soap, you know? And this was a dry, warm, day in Western Australia yesterday, and we were playing like it was wet weather football. And worryingly, that is not the first time I've said that. I don't know what it is, if it's the pressure. Caminiti dropped an easy mark. He wasn't the only one. The amount of handballs to shoelaces, clean handballs that hit a player and then that player fumbled it. Or players that get the ball, go to handball, and they don't even really get a fist away. It goes like half a meter. They don't even get that sort of power and momentum on the ball. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just something I've picked up on. And as well as our structure can be, and as well as the game is going, there is always that moment where we just fumble the ball and it coughs up a goal for the opposition, or it stuffs up a goal scoring chance for us. And I don't know how you can fix that. Is that confidence? Is that just more training? But I just feel like that's a basic fundamental of AFL football, that even when you're drafted, you really shouldn't be fumbling, And especially when some of it's from the senior players. That is the most worrying part. It's not just the youngsters. Most of the time, the youngsters are the ones that are most clean when the ball's in that sort of in dispute stage. Number 4, to me, that was our worst loss under Ross 2.0, Ross's return, whatever you want to call it, since he's been back. That was our worst loss. We've had some bigger margins. We've lost to the Bulldogs by a lot, a couple times. Brisbane spanked us a few times. There's I think maybe, was it Essendon last year? That was pretty bad. But I don't think we've ever lost to a team that's winless, and we haven't lost to a team that's obviously rock bottom, halfway through a season pretty much. So to me, people need to understand. I'm not saying I'm shocked, and some people getting upset in the comments, West Coast fans are like, oh, that's disrespectful, this and that. I'm like, I'm being real. They won 5 quarters up until this point. They won 3 or 4 yesterday. They pretty much totaled their yearly quarters won in one game against us. They haven't won a game in months, nothing this year. Go back last year, there was a couple, they went winless for a lot of that period in the back end of the year. They're in as poor form as any football club's been in a long time. And I know there was different circumstances to the performance, but to me, that is by far and away the worst performance under Ross Lyon since he's been back. So if you think there's another one, geez, that must have been pretty bad, because I don't think you can really beat losing to the bottom team who's winless, and that's it. Simple as that, really. A lot of people are, already hitting me up saying that's the worst one so far. I'm like, please, there cannot be more worse than that, surely. And on a positive note, number 5, I just want to put it out there. I love watching Jack Higgins. You know why I love watching Jack Higgins? Because he doesn't need much and he makes the most of his chances. He had 7 kicks yesterday for 5 goals won. 7 kicks, 5 goals won. The bloke is in career best form. He's second in the Coleman, 1 goal off equal top. He's a small forward. He could if he played for Collingwood right now, he would be 110% the All-Australian small with Jamie Elliott or whoever when you want to put with him. Except he plays for St Kilda and we're losing games and he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, I don't think. In a lot of these conversations for All-Australian forwards, his name hardly comes up. So I got to give him his flowers like I've done for other players in the past. I love watching him play. I just love that he's no bullshit. He knows his skills. He knows to play within his limits. And he's one of the best snaps, if not the best snap, left foot, right foot in the competition right now. He makes it look ridiculously easy when I know it's not. And a lot of his teammates around him make the easy look ridiculously hard. So credit to you, Jack Higgins. Even in a shit show, even in a team that hardly plays attacking football and doesn't get the ball in there enough for him, he's kicked 28 goals. He's on his way for a career best season. Awesome, Jack Higgins. Awesome. I absolutely love it. I love it. And maybe a bonus one at the end. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, I've realised. I go into games like this confident that we should win. And that's how it should be. We're playing the bottom team. Why wouldn't I be confident? And then people have a problem with that. Like, Jake, be real. Of course we were going to lose this game. But then if I go into these types of games, timid, nervous, people comment. They say, see, this is what's the problem with St Kilda. Supporters like you that expect the worst, that express the worst and put us all in a negative mindset. So which one is it? Which one is the right answer? There is no right answer. The right answer is, my gut feel was, why shouldn't we be beating a winless team? That was it. It's no disrespect to West Coast. It could have been any other team. But we were favourites for a reason. We've got a good record at Optus. We smashed them the last time we played them. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. People have arguments for both sides, but I'm just going to back myself in. I'm not here to act like a loser and say we're going to lose every week and this and that. I'm going to be real. I will be real. And I was being realistic in this game. You know, I'm not going to buy into, oh, it was written in the stars. Of course we're going to lose. I don't buy into that, you know. And I kind of do agree. If we continue to think that way, obviously that's going to fester and it's going to continue. And we've thought that way for a lot of our history. Even when we had good St Kilda teams, we expected the worst. And we got the worst. We got the bad bounce. We got the draw. We missed the grand final wins. You know, we have to change that at some point, and I'm trying to steer that and trying to be a bit more bullish about this team, but obviously I get egg on my face when things like that happen. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's my 5 things, Sainers. Number 1, we are not strong enough physically. Number 2, we can still play experience with youth. Number 3, if there was a stat for fumbles, we'd be number 1. We just stuff so many easy chains up. Number 4, that was our worst loss under Ross since he's been back. And number 5, I love watching Jack Higginson. Bonus point, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's wrong to have expectation, and then it's wrong to not expect anything. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, guys, put your 5 things in the comments. I appreciate it. As always, thank you very much for watching my review. Saints TV Weekly is already out. And obviously the podcast will be out tomorrow as well. So thanks again, Sainers. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. As always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.
Get the speaker box loud, hitting that stuff till you hearing that sound.